Hey friends. So today we're going to talk about learning versus co-creation. And so the question is, when we are taking our children out of school, or even if you have them at school and you're wondering what can we do on the side though to actually nurture your child's true essence, the big thing is that we have to then start to go, well, what do they need to learn? And then what I've gone from there is, do children or us even learn? What is with that? And so there's two parts to learning that I see. One part is from the old way, gurus, teachers, degrees, curriculums, goals that are decided by someone else. You need to learn this. And even parents, you need to learn this. That's someone else taking the power away from that child or that adult by saying, I think I know you better than you know your own true essence, your own innate intelligence, and your own soul path, and what is actually mattering to you and what doesn't. So that style of that word learning is out. And that's where we have to be really, really careful, especially once we take our children out of school, that we're not still putting our own agenda on our children of what we think they need to learn. Then the next question is, so what do they need to learn? And that's where I would say, of course, we still go out and learn. Like, for example, I just started getting the tap, hey, Ayurveda just started coming up here and there. It matched in with my health goals. And so I was like, okay, I'll just dive into this. So a bit of a Google degree, but it was really interesting me just reading about it, then went to see a practitioner and learned about it. So I did learn off someone else, like you are learning off me. But in the end, the idea is each generation it gets more and more just you do you. I don't even need to touch you. Even as a little child, you will know what you need to go and seek out, and it will come with way more intuition. You will just know what you need to eat. You will just know what you want to do. You won't even need to have anyone else to confirm that. So that's where you realize right now we're still using the external to activate, to help us unlock things that we half already had within us. So, for example, when I read about Ayurveda, it just was like, yes, okay, the different qualities of food, that makes sense to me. Working with the seasons, that makes sense to me. So it was a remembering, really, with obviously help with the details and whatnot, but still, I still could fall into the trap of the practitioner telling me what to do exactly like the guru, as opposed to me going, yes, I get that, that food may not be the best for me in certain ways, but I feel called to it and I'm going to go with my intuition and see where that takes me, often into the shadows. Eating the wrong food, it will bring up tension and big emotions and stuff, which is stuff that needed to get purged out of us anyway. So it's really important that we go out into the world as adults and watching our children. The more we practice it, the more we can hold a better space for our children. Does that sit right with you? Where did you learn that from? Who's telling you? What do you think they're coming from? And you basically can tap into their concept of truth. Where would they have learned this from? What style of learning did they do? So, for example, the Indian guy I see with Ayurveda, I can see, oh, yes, it's still very much, this is the dogma of it, and this is being taught. And the way he delivers it to me, it's more, I'll prescribe this rather than, does that sound right to you? And so I'm always telling my children, sit with what you've just learned, even on Read or Google. Does that feel right? And where is it coming from? So you can see if that links in with what you feel. But the aim is that we're going back to our concept of truth. Does that ring right to me or does it not? I can make my own concept of truth, even about a lot of things. For example, what I'm teaching you, other people can tell you, but it's more like that piece works, that one doesn't. From my experience, my life, my skills, that sits right. No, that doesn't. I don't even know what. And then automatically something starts to come where the universe delivers you another way of looking at it or something else, that fits better. And so all of us basically should be able to produce our own understanding of the world, our own bodies of work, our own modality, and how we do everything. We are all unique, right? So that is the main part to come back to, is just to keep remembering uniqueness. That is the essence of it all. So let me just fill into if there's anything else that we need to go through. So yeah, so with the learning, really letting the old way go, really coming back to true essence of your child or you or your partner, or even watching your family members, friends. What is their true essence? What is driving them towards that? And then understanding that the more I go inwards and do my inner work as a mother, the more I open my channels and I just go, oh, I've got clarity now. I already know in my heart. I don't need anyone else to tell me. And that is big stuff. For example, mums who are realizing, I don't think I want to take my child with a disability to the speech pathologist or the physio. It's going within to go, oh my gosh, I'm doubting myself, I'm not sure about this. But once you let up all that charge, you go, no, it doesn't feel right. This is it. And so instead of being told what to do, you're going off your own truth, your own concept of truth, and your own heart and your own intelligence. That is the point. So the co-creation is basically you with the universe, whatever you want to call it, but you going into your inner universe to go, okay, what feels right? What feels right? And, with anything that anyone says to you, your partner, your friend, whatever, you go, oh, okay. Often we go, oh, thanks for that, because I didn't know, as opposed to, I don't know, you've just told me something. Then I'm going to sift to see if that all sits right, if a little bit does. And I'm like, no, for some reason it doesn't. And really mapping out your own concept of truth. Then we will hold a better space for our children to do the same thing and to go, yeah, you don't need to learn off anyone else. In fact, if they were put into, like a white box and we just held the space, not like a prisoner, but we held that space of intention, I see that you have a beautiful innate intelligence within you, a little program that is you, gifts and challenges, star, heart, and earth energy. It's going to keep unfolding. Obviously, then we start to realize the child would only be able to grow so far. It's like a little seed. It can only go so far before it needs some water and some sun. And for us, children and adults, we can only go so far out into the world. Now, I've got this awesome program. I've got this awesome program. But if the universe doesn't have a chance to deliver the little golden keys along the way to activate it, then we kind of end up in a little eddy going round and round going, oh, okay, I've got nothing else. So my example is my Declan, he loves animals and getting into like this, their energies, their superpowers, all of that. And so the other day he watched a Zootopia movie, 3 days in a row. I was like, oh, what are you doing? Over and over and over. But what I see is I'm about animals. I want more about this. And right now I don't have anything else that I can bathe myself in this topic about. So I'm just going to keep bathing. And ironically, if he bathed for too long, then it would be veering off his path, off his highest potential. But the 3 days in a row, he was picking up more details, talking about more things, doing more with it out, away from the movie and actually creating his own little drawings and stuff. So that is the point, is for us to go, okay, all we need to do is let our children and ourselves go out into the world saying yes to allowing this innate intelligence to come up and feeling it, going, I feel like doing that. I feel like doing that. I remember I used to love that. And actually, even just saying yes to it is a step forward, even if you go, I don't have time to get the knitting out or whatever. But saying yes, it's there. And that's you clocking a timeline. So for me, I say, yes, piano playing is there. It's not right now, but yes. And so I keep my tab on that. Yes to the drawing. Yes to book reading. I'm going to do that tonight. So there's some things that will come down and you'll be like, yep, I can do that right now. Even if it's only a little bit, the point is you're putting a coin in the bank saying yes to it, even when you're really busy. And that's where it starts to work and work more and more, where the universe takes care of things, especially when you are letting go of the shoulds and realizing you've got a lot of more time and energy than you realize to put into the proactive stuff of you. And then you start to be able to nurture that in your children. But also we're taking on so much responsibility as the mum to do all of this, where our children will just get up and, little random things. A friend might bring over a random toy that ignites something in your child. Awesome, we can take it and run with it. They might find a certain library book at the library and it activates a whole big thing. That is the universe dropping the golden keys. We don't have to go and dig them up and find them and play hide and seek. It's more allow things to come. And of course, that might be a bit of space where a day or two you're like, oh, he's not really motivated about anything. I wonder what we're going to do. It comes back to, again, knowing your child's true essence, knowing what they're about, and just sitting with that intention as a mother to go, yes, I say yes to nurturing their true essence. What does that look like? So you can go to my website, heidihosking.com, top banner, if you want to do the quick quiz to find every family member's true essence, including yourself and your partner. It's very important to do the whole family. But you can also invest in my Homeschooling Magic e-kit. It's in the link below, that has the recorded play shop there, Nurture Your Child's Gifts and Challenges, which takes you through the whole quiz, and more a bigger, nearly an hour play shop around the whole thing about star, heart, and earth energy, and why it's so important for us to understand that, so we can really see what our children are interested in. And we can also understand their challenges from an empowering point of view and knowing what to do. So co-creation, that's us just saying yes to ourselves and the universe. Then there's that co-creation between us and our children. So we start to go, oh, you know what? As I get into drawing, my other son all of a sudden starts doing these amazing drawings. You're like, wow, where did that come from? But that is the more we all step into our better self, our more, our truest expression, then it unlocks others to step into the same thing. Then you start to go, okay, there's only so much that the family unit can allow for this. We need more fish in the sea because of all the different things that we might have going. Everyone's gifts in the family do match in certain ways, but it can be in even better ways with someone else. And so that's why I'm calling people together here on the Sunshine Coast at the Sanctuary to have more fish in the sea. So that person, adult or child, who really loves, I'm making this up, classical music, they find someone else. Oh, now I can blah, 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 blah. And you just get energized by being with someone who also really loves and gets what you're about, versus you trying to tell, your child trying to tell you about their latest Nintendo game. It's very draining because you're not the person that's supposed to be activating and nurturing this. And so as a mother, we also have to be prepared to go, okay, I call in someone else. I'm casting the net out so that you can find that right match around that. Then it might be, okay, yeah, my child really loves presenting or whatever. I call in some people that match that. For my Declan, obviously, I love presenting, so it's been a match that I've been able to help with at home. But it's not to say we can't better that by finding someone else that might have something to share. And that can be, like him watching Steve Irwin or whatever. He's co-creating with someone even on the screen, going, okay, how they do that, what not. And we don't even realize what they're actually taking in when they're doing all of this that activates, bit on their path. And there's certain things that you'll remember as an adult going, oh yeah, I remember, that TV show with that, or that person said this way back here and it was planted, and for it to come into fruition here. So it's really important that we start to get together, but with intention. That's why I say intentional co-creation. We must actually talk about what we're about. We must actually show what we're about. We must bring ourselves out of the closet so that others can go, oh, okay, I can see you over there. If we don't, we can end up on play dates, organized activities, parents sitting and chatting, and nothing actually moves forward because we're not intentionally coming together to co-create. And that's the point with everything. If we've got the intention, then we can do lots. I go out with the intention I can learn a lot from my children. And of course, then I'm hearing their wisdom. If you don't, they can tell you a lot of things and it just goes by the wayside because you're not there with that intention to hear what the little snippets that are actually good truths for us to hear. That is the main part, I would say, learning versus co-creation. We are learning off each other, but more I see igniting, remembering, activating, unlocking the stuff within us. That it doesn't take much. You go, oh yeah, I get this. And that can be, like for me, I used to read half a book and put it down because I already got it. Sometimes people have recommended me a book and just by the title, I go, oh yes, what was it? Something about allowing your child to take risks. That was the title. And I was like, good idea. And so I tapped into my own concept of that truth and go about and actually start bringing that in. I don't even need to read the whole book. But what happens is when you say yes, you unlock that. It all comes down in different ideas as you go along. If I read the book in a year's time or so, most of it will be like, yeah, that's what I've got, because the truth comes from the little cloud up here and it's coming down. So that's all you have to do in certain ways. And that's why children are getting so bored at school. It's like, you must learn to read. You must do this at this time in this way. And they're like, give me like 2 years and I will unlock reading like that at the right time in the right place with the right motivation. I don't need to leak the energy in learning. So that's coming back round. Please do ask me any questions though, but otherwise I hope you've enjoyed this and I'll see you all soon. Bye.